All right, so one of the main goals of this channel is to keep people informed, especially when it comes to politics. There's a lot of times that we just don't know how to follow it. We don't know what yes or no vote is. So I'm going to try to break down Prop 36 as best as I can. Prop 36 is pretty much a repeal of some of the law that was placed by Prop 47, which made it a misdemeanor for thefts under $900, which also made it a misdemeanor for many drug offenses and drug sales. So Prop 36, what it does, it will make it a felony after the third time being caught with certain drugs, right? So if you get caught one time, misdemeanor, second time will be a misdemeanor. Third time, you're gonna finally be able to get some teeth into the judge's hand. Same thing that goes with the theft. You know, right now, if you go into CVS, 7-Eleven, you can go in there every day for 30 days and it will still be a misdemeanor because of Prop 47. Now, Prop 47, progressives will tell you that it's a way to, help people out with mental health and, do a different approach at crime. And although their heart is in the right place, they have to understand that a drug addict has no heart at that time. The drug addict's only goal is to get high with any means necessary, right? Gavin Newsom will tell you that Prop 36, if yes vote, will take us back into the 1980s drug wars. But what he's not telling you is that right now we're living the 1980s and 1990s street type wars towards families, towards innocent people. You have people stealing without any regards for the law. You got mobs of kids going into 7-Elevens robbing. You've got drug addicts all over your streets. You've got tents posted up. And the reason that is because the police officers really have no type of power to implement anything to get them off the streets. If you're an officer, you see somebody using drugs, you arrest them, they're going to get a misdemeanor and they'll be out the next day. What Prop 47 also did was it pretty much took away drug court. Drug court was where you go to drugs, where you get caught with drugs, you're going there and they're going to tell you, all right, this is your option. You're either going to go to jail for a couple years or you can go to a drug treatment program for a year. And now the system is like this. You get arrested, right? It's a misdemeanor. You go in front of a judge. The judge tells you this. All right, you can either go to drug court for 1 year or you can go to jail for 2 days. For a drug addict, that's an easy option. I go for 2 days to jail. They'll probably keep me for a day and a half just to process me and kick me out. Third day, I'm back out using dope. It doesn't make any sense. There is no accountability. They're also saying, as far as people who want no on Prop 36, like Newsom, that it's going to cost so many millions of dollars. It's going to be overcrowded in jails. There's not enough treatment centers. What that tells me is they don't want to allocate the money for it. They've spent $27 billion in the last 5 years fighting this homelessness wave, which is really addiction wave. They just don't want to admit it. So they can get some of that money and start pushing towards that. Right now, what we see on the streets is many people that would be in and out of drug programs, in and out of the county jail for thefts and other miscellaneous crimes like that. But now what they do is they house them on the streets so they can show low levels in jail. And Gavin Newsom, when he runs for president one year, he could say, look, I lowered the population in prisons in California. That way he'll want minorities to vote for him. But only because I'm a minority, even though I'm not in California, it doesn't make me want to vote for you just because you let people out of jail. There is some people that do belong in jail. If you're going into somebody's store, slapping them up and stealing some, you belong in jail. If you're shooting dope in front of kids, you belong in jail. I'm not saying lock them up and throw away the key. And that's what happens a lot of time in this discussion. You get people who are anti-36 that will say, oh, you just want, no, I don't want to lock people up. I want accountability. And what Prop 36 does, it brings accountability to the table. After the third time, you're not going straight to prison. Now the judge will tell you, all right, so-and-so, you can either go to a rehab for a year or you can go to prison for 2 years. Now it gives that addict person some type of accountability to be like, man, I really don't want to go to prison, so let me go to rehab. That way we can somehow, some way force them into rehab, but we're not forcing them by going and picking them off the streets. They're getting arrested. They're doing something illegal. Same thing goes for theft. It's going to give you a 3 strikes law. So if you go in there, steal twice, a third time, it's going to be a low misdemeanor, which you can go to some type of program and all that will be erased out of your record. The same thing with the drug charges. So this is something that will actually, I believe, help the police have some type of accountability towards the streets, and also have those guys eventually know, hey man, you can't just walk around and get high. You can't just be using dope. You can't just be stealing. This is something that we need as a change. Like I said before in the beginning of this video, I understand the progressive way of thinking that they believe that, you know, mass incarceration doesn't work. And we're not saying mass incarceration. We're saying accountability. And right now, it doesn't take a rocket science to see that out in the streets of Los Angeles and many other parts of California, there is zero accountability. There is no F's given by addicts, by people stealing, by people just breaking the law. And we need some type of accountability. We need some type of tools to help us lower the crime, lower the addiction, and actually help the community. So here on American Cholo, myself, I'm an absolute yes for Proposition 36. If you want your streets cleaner, if you want less addict on your streets, I will vote yes. If you believe that we are going in the right direction as far as addiction and homelessness and theft, then vote no. Simple as that. A yes vote to me is safer streets, cleaner streets. Vote no to me, it's doing what we're doing now. So it's up to you. Either way, people, get out there and vote. Let your voices be heard. This is the American Cholo Podcast.